So far, year one and a smashing success. You think about the fact that there is no other league anywhere in the world that has pitted two border-connected professional soccer leagues together in a competition to sort of, determine who really is the king of the road here. There's been some unbelievable matches. There's been enormous excitement, and it's just year one. So imagine what our future holds. We have Copa next year. We have the Club World Cup in 25. We have the World Cup in 26. And we have our Leagues Cup, this unique competition that has gotten off to an unbelievable start.
So to that point, how would you expect, or I guess in a better way to phrase it, what is your own expectation of the next years to come? Not just for MLS, not even just for the relationship with Liga MX, but your own vision as how this keeps developing. Because when I talked to Lionel Messi, and we'll get to him in a moment, I promise, I asked him about the growth of the game here, and he said, I think there is tremendous potential in so many ways, but ultimately it's down to the league. How do you see that, specifically as these tournaments that you're talking about in the future?
Let me start with Leagues Cup. We believe, we and Liga MX, that CONCACAF, our region, ought to be as strong as any regional confederation anywhere in the world. The sport is popular here. It's very valuable, as you know. The rest of the world almost kind of looks at this market as its biggest, untapped opportunity. And the future of the Leagues Cup is going to be a closer and closer alignment with clubs in Mexico. Think about what that could mean from a promotion and marketing and player development and fan development perspective. So we have great hopes for the future. I listened, like all of you, at Leo's first press conference, and there were so many things that came out of that that really impressed me, with his belief in our league, with his desire to just play, to do what he can, not to be an ambassador for Major League Soccer, but really somebody who can be an ambassador for the game, to show all the potential opportunity here in the United States and with Major League Soccer. Now it is up to us. Every year for 27 plus years now, Luis, we continue to defy the odds. We built stadiums before they were even thought of. We've developed new ways to attract the best players in the world, like Messi. We've created tournaments that are unprecedented, like Leagues Cup. We continue to invest in player development and MLS Next Pro, and our first teams. And you think about all that energy and all that momentum, and now we have the best player in the game in all time saying he believes that MLS could be one of the top leagues in the world. And his goal really is maybe it could be the top of the heap. Just a matter of time.
Is there anything that you would want to improve as we look ahead to 2024, 2025?
It's year one of what should go on for many, many years. So there's so many things that we need to look at. We need to look at sort of the competitive format. Are we providing the Mexican clubs with the right opportunity to be able to capture the interest of their local fans? Because, as you know, there are Liga MX fans everywhere in every city in America, certainly in our soon-to-be 30 markets. So I don't see any reason why those can't be as much a home game as it is the perception that they're visiting. We have to take a look at the calendar. We've got to continue to see where does the competition fit in with so many other things that are going to be going on over the next couple of years. And certainly we'll work with CONCACAF on so many of the other operational things, and whether that's officiating or anything else, which, by the way, I think was much better than I think the officials got credit for, by the way.
That is Don Garber, Major League Soccer Commissioner. Smashing success.
What's so funny?
First thing he said. No, I'm a happy person. I'm always smiling. That's what you get. That's the vibe you get from me. Smashing success. But he said competitive changes, especially designed for the Mexican teams. It's clearly Leagues Cup is not going to go to Mexico.
No.
All the games are going to be played
himself.
here.
Yes.
So I don't know if this same optimism and triumphalism is shared by Liga MX executives. If games are not going to be played in Mexico, what kind of changes do you envision may happen for next year?
Let me just start with this highlights the dysfunction of the Mexican Federation, because Enrique Bonilla was a president of Liga MX back then. I was the MC at the very first League
That's
Cup
how bad
event.
he was. You were the MC.
Well, I was in Las Vegas, so Las Vegas' own. I was the MC for the Liga MX MLS Leagues Cup announcement in Las Vegas. Who was there? Commissioner Garber, okay? Who was also there? Enrique Bonilla, the president of Liga MX in that time. They always intended this to be a U.S. and an MLS-hosted tournament, whether that's in Canada or whether it's in the U.S. Never once, when they talked about expanding from 8 teams to 16 teams to everybody, did they mention their games would be in Mexico. When I asked, they said, no, this is a tournament here. Now, they've been very specific in the naming of their properties. Campeones Cup, okay, that was announced with Leagues Cup, would be MLS versus Liga MX champions. Campeones Cup, you see the two distinctions. Leagues Cup, never was a distinction in the name that it would be just MLS and Liga MX. I could see a scenario where these competitive changes are adding South American teams, whether they're Brazilian or Argentinian teams, and being host cities. What that means, Los Angeles is a host city for a number of Liga MX teams. Dallas is a host city for a number of Liga MX and South American teams. Houston, Austin, San Jose, California, et cetera, et cetera. I can see that being the competitive change that Don Garber is talking about. But this is not going to Mexico. And I could understand the frustration, but to me, it just outlines how dysfunctional the federation is, because this was already negotiated.
So the outcry from Liga MX is because they started losing games. It's because the performance was so poor. And they just needed to find a reason to object the level play field, if you will. And it is, no. You feel like Major League Soccer? You feel now you cut up and they're better than us? Why don't you come and play in Estadio Azteca? Why don't you come and play in Guadalajara and Monterrey? It doesn't work like that, Liga MX. I'm so sorry to say, it does not work like that. And the only reason why you're crying loudly is because you realized you're not as good as you thought you were. And because Major League Soccer teams started to show game in and game out that this region is now extremely competitive. And as we say in Spanish, cualquiera le gana a cualquiera. Right. It's not that Major League Soccer is better than Liga MX or the other way around. That's the only reason why they want changes. And if there's one change, I think that's going to happen. There's going to be like bubbles, right? California, you bring 8 teams, and those teams do not move from California. Northwest, East Coast. Right. That's the only change that I think can happen. And maybe with those changes, Liga MX clubs won't be out crying like they do.
I could also see a change in the number of teams, because 29 versus 18 is a little lopsided. And if you include other teams from other countries, I could see it being a situation where you have to qualify for this tournament, because there is a CONCACAF Champions League medal at the end for these participating teams available, or CONCACAF Champions Cup, excuse me.
The final thing that I want to say about this is Don Garber saying, well, Liga MX teams should realize that when they play in some major markets, they also play as home field advantage.
As home teams.
As home teams. That's not necessarily the case.
No, you don't have the comfort of your house.
Yeah, you have to travel. You have to stay at hotels. That's not quite the case.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.